sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. A Saturday morning where they have USA Dodgeball in Hy-Vee Arena. That's where our studio is located. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Man, I kind of want to get a dodgeball team going.
Not after I seen old boy get hit in the face before.
No?
I'd be down.
No?
Dodgeball was fun back like in middle school and everything when we used to play it during PE.
Yeah.
Oh, those were like the best days.
When they weren't throwing like 70 miles an hour. That.
So I played my last time playing dodgeball, of course, high school probably, but I played. So Justin Reed, chief safety, had a dodgeball tournament in Houston this past June. And I went down, he invited me down to play, and I played, and they were like all NFL athletes, like Adrian Peterson, those kind of guys. Right? No, I'm just saying, like, so they had NFL arms and professional athlete arms throwing balls, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to get out there in this. I'm kind of like, but it ended up being pretty, I didn't get hit. That's my claim to fame. Like, I didn't get hit. Yeah, didn't get hit.
Period.
Yeah, hey,
So, but brings back to this. It's like, you guys want to get a team?
Nah, I'm good, man.
No?
I think I would try it.
I'm on disability.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can't
move like I used to.
So he'd be the first one out.
Exactly.
He's definitely
exactly.
He just doesn't want to be the weak link.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, right?
Nah, I can't dodge it.
Oh, okay. Jazz, you want to get a team going?
I'm down. I think it would be fun.
$1 million pool?
Hey, man, go ahead, because that's how much our medical bill is going to be.
I'm not getting hit.
Look, I played a soccer game yesterday, and my knee is like on fire right now.
He's out. Lawrence Poole, you hear that? He's out.
I'm always in. All right, we got a lot to talk about today on the show. NFL Cutdown Day. We're going to dive into who we think shouldn't have got cut. Chiefs home opener coming up on Thursday. We'll talk about that and what we can expect from Chiefs fans, Chiefs Kingdom, all of the above out there at GEHA Field inside of Arrowhead Stadium. We'll also talk about the economic impact that the NFL draft caused on Kansas City. We'll dive into that. And then Sporting KC, they launched the NIL program with 5 local D1 students. So we'll dive into that as well. Let's get into today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
It's doomsday for the NFL. NFL Cutdown Day. Were there any surprises to you guys with the Chiefs and just all around the league?
Only surprise for me, and I think it was a surprise for everyone, is the reason that they kept 7 wide receivers. It's never happened in Andy Reid's tenure in Kansas City. It's never happened under Andy Reid, even in Philly. So people were like, oh, well, why are they keeping 7 wide receivers? Well, I think the more options that Patrick Mahomes has, the more options, right? Like you got a lot. The wide receiver room was pretty deep. And I just feel like it's hard to cut good talent.
Yeah.
It's like a normal job, right? Like it's hard to find good employees. So
glass is always half full with you. No. I think each player doesn't have one specific thing that they can do.
I agree with that.
So there's a multitude of different things so they can do different packages because Sky Moore, he can't be that red zone type of player or whatever unless they do a trick play. That's for Justin Ross, right?
Oh, okay.
You see?
Justin Ross doing trick plays?
No, Sky Moore is doing trick
Okay,
plays. Justin
okay.
Ross will be the receiver in the red zone that they can just throw it over the top. He catches it, like DK Metcalf.
Okay,
That they could have drafted.
okay.
He always goes back to this one.
He does.
He's seriously holding a grudge on this draft.
Because I always say that winning suppresses a bad culture. And if they didn't win these Super Bowls, then Veach would be on the hot seat on why did you draft CEH? Why did you draft this player, McCole Hardman?
He got it right. You see that? He been working on
it. But if they didn't win, I think a lot of pressure would be on Veach and what they're doing. And then, of course, what's going on with Chris Jones.
Definitely. But we always know who target number 1 is. So, I mean, I get adding to the madness, but when is it, okay, we already know, like, this is all bluff. We already know how it's going to go down.
I think last year helped Patrick Mahomes a lot. When you trade away Tyreek Hill, and then you really don't have a legit, since we're going to call Travis Kelce wide receiver 1, even though he's a tight end. Let's just get that out there right now. We know he's a tight end. But we're going to call him wide receiver 1 just for the sake of argument, right? There was no legit wide receiver number 2. I mean, McCole Hardman was supposed to be, the guy. Then you bring in MVS, which in Green Bay, he wasn't even wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Then you bring in Juju Smith-Schuster, which his argument when Antonio Brown was in Pittsburgh, I'm still wide receiver 1. Then Antonio Brown left. Juju wanted to get wide receiver 1 money. The injury. So he still wasn't really a wide receiver number 1. So you have MVS, Juju, and then McCole, who it was a toss-up, right? Then you bring in a rookie, Sky Moore. He doesn't know. I mean, they're trying to throw him in a punt return. They're trying to do so many things with him. And it's just like, what are we doing with Sky? We don't really know. And then you have Justin Watson, who came in from Tampa Bay, who was, used to playing with a good quarterback, right? Like he was there with Tom Brady. So, Hall of Famer.
Go.
And then you just have some other guys that you just want to kind of sprinkle in there here and there. And it's like, oh, well, let's just go to Patrick is like, I'm just going to throw it to whoever, right? Like I mix it up a little bit. And I think he's used to that now. And just like Patrick said last year, fantasy owners don't be upset with us because it could be anybody's day. And I think that's what they're going to be doing this year too.
Whenever you got to ask a couple questions in press conferences, what was their take on your questions? On
keeping the 7 wide receivers. So I asked Brett Veach, what was it tough, making that decision? And Brett was like, that's Chief General Manager. He was like, yeah, it was really tough. And I also asked him about Amir Smith-Marset, who fans other than Ross, they were like, oh, we like Amir Smith-Marset. I hope he makes a team. Even talking to Smith-Marset after a preseason game, he was like, man, I've been to 3 teams in 3 years. Like, I'm tired of it. I want to make a team, and stick. And they traded him to the Carolina Panthers. Good for him, right? Like, even Brett Veach was like, yeah, it was amazing for him because he worked his tail off. And when a team trades for you, that means you're making the roster. So I think they did, to answer your question, I think they did, feel like trading away Amir Smith-Marset allowed them to, okay, let's look at this wide receiver room. Let's go ahead and keep 7, just in case. I mean, you have Kadarius Toney now, who is coming off of knee surgery. We don't know how that's going to work.
Thanks.
So I thought they were going to put Kadarius Toney on IR for at least the first 4 weeks. I really did.
Be the wide receiver 1 in the room.
Supposed to be.
He would definitely be the wide receiver.
Supposed to be between him and Richie James. You talked about people doing many different things. Richie James is supposed to be their return specialist. It was trial and error with Sky last year, so I don't think they're going to throw Sky back there anymore. So they have a guy who's able to do it in Richie James.
So Jerick McKinnon back there?
No way. He's a veteran. Jerick isn't going for that.
He's not going for it.
Now back to your talk. We know you like to talk draft talk. Kansas City's NFL draft exceeded economic impact, and the estimates were around guaranteed $164.3 million in economic impact, according to the city officials.
That's a lot of money.
I didn't see a nickel.
You weren't supposed to. What was it that you could do to help bring money from the draft?
Chiefs #1 hater, baby. Donations.
No, but really, Steve, what about the impact on Kansas City?
I think this report comes at a weird time. Like, it doesn't take that long to know what the impact of dollars and cents are, right? Like when something comes to town, it doesn't take. When was the draft? April?
Yeah.
It's 5 months, right? 4 or 5 months, give or take. It doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
You know, the next week.
That's a lot of money to count, though.
You're not sitting there counting. It's all done by machine. This is an AI culture right now. We talking stuff can happen instantly. Like you're not counting to every penny by hand. That's not what's happening. So my point was like it's coming at a weird time because we heard from a lot of like business owners around the city, at least around like downtown, midtown area, plaza. I even go as far as saying, North Kansas City, right? Because I mean, you got to come from the airport. And what was supposed to be happening, at least people thought, was that all these fans are going to come into town from different states, even different countries, to watch the draft, and they're going to spend all this money with our businesses, right? And people stocked up on whether it was food, if they had a retail operation with clothing or whatever it was, they stocked up on all that stuff, expecting people to come in and spend money, and that didn't happen because of course the draft. They put everyone in that one area, and why leave? Yeah. You go from your hotel to there, probably find somewhere to eat. Possibly, we're in Kansas City, so we'll try a barbecue restaurant. We'll run up to Gates on 31st Street, and then we'll go back to our hotel. And that's what happened. And all these people were left with, oh, well, people didn't come into my spot. People didn't come into my coffee shop, or they didn't come and buy shirts from me. And they were upset behind that. And I think that's what people were upset behind. And then you come out with this study, it's like, oh, well, they did spend money, but it wasn't with mom and pop.
Yeah, kind of like the same where you have too many options, so you only stick to what's close, like the receiver core. And Kansas City has a different dynamic of where you can go in sense of safety, and what's a nice area to go to or whatever.
Okay. So
there's that line of, do you go past 35th Street? Do you go past 39th Street?
People don't know that though.
And so if you don't know that, where do you go?
Stick to what you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
You stick to your area.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it too, even when we were down there, was all in that like grass area. There was the food trucks, there was the beer stands, like everything was immediately right there. Like once you made it inside of those gates, you really didn't have a reason to leave unless you specifically were set out to let's find a mom and pop in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, not everybody comes with those plans. Like I feel like a lot of people, especially if they drove and traveled, they were like, we're going to soak up this experience right here at the draft as much as possible.
True.
Why venture out? So I see it both ways. I think I'm not necessarily surprised at the number. I think it'd be interesting to see how much of that was spent actually inside of the draft grounds versus like Kansas City. You know?
Yeah.
And I know we even talked to some of the people that had set up those food trucks and set up the entertainment around, and they travel from state to state and they're setting up different things. So I wonder what that looks like as far as what really went to the NFL and that draft setup versus like Kansas City.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would imagine that hotel revenue is included in that, because you think about room nights. I mean, that's what like it's different cities, of course. The economic impact comes from like hotel nights. How many hotel nights are we able to sell? And the taxes made off of that divvies throughout the city and throughout, really economic development. And I'm wondering like how much of that is from like hotel room nights, because you're getting a premium, these people are coming in. So hotels are going to get a premium dollar premium rate for their room nights. For no matter what, you could be in, at least some in Missouri, you're still going to get a premium dollar for your hotel room because people are coming in town. Just like the World Cup coming in 2026. And I think people now, because that was, from what I can remember, that was the first like large scale event that we've had that I can remember.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so people, I think, are going to understand like, okay, maybe I don't have to scale my business to buying all this merch because of the expected number of people. Yeah. I think I could probably do with not so much and still make charge a little more, but still make the money that I wanted to make instead of buying all this inventory.
Definitely.
I stayed at Harris that weekend, and I remember looking at the prices the week before and the week after. And I believe it went from like, Harris $120 a night or so, and it went to like $439, $500.
Crazy. It's crazy.
A good thing I'm a gambler and I have some comps.
Yeah, that's the And it was just crazy even being here. I know we talked about it, like people asking us where to go and us knowing all the spots.
Yeah.
But even then, like being from here, I really didn't venture out from the draft experience. Like it was like I'm down here in the draft. I already know what the bars are like. I already know what everything's like around here. So if anything, I'm going to dodge the crowd. I don't want to go to the places where like that we would normally go. Let's just go back home. And that might have been the big thing too, of like a lot of them thinking a lot of people were engaged, but people were actually just like, I want to stay away from the hectic and go home and enjoy it that way.
And I think outside of Power and Light, like probably Green Lady Lounge, Scarbox, other businesses that are on the streetcar line, right? Like you're not gonna venture out from whether it's City Market to, I mean, I would really say 31st Street or Crown Center. Yeah, 31st Street or Crown Center. Yeah, I mean, there's other than that, you're not really going to venture past that. Especially like, I mean, I'm talking nightlife, because you know a lot of people it's a family environment. So once they put the kids in a hotel room, have a babysitter or whoever, and you're going to venture out and go celebrate being out of town, right? Like, and I think Power and Light was probably that thing for those people. So I wonder how much money like from Power and Light area is infused in this number.
Well, I know their numbers infused. It was like $18 for a vodka tonic or something like that.
Who drinks vodka tonics anyway?
Right.
Vodka tonic. What? No way.
Now, Sporting KC is sticking to what they know. They've launched a NIL program with 5 local NCAA D1 student athletes in the class of 2023. They've got kicker from Mizzou, Blake Craig, K-State, Jericho Frigon, University of Mizzou. Yeah. Midfielder. They've got a couple all from Lee Summit, Lawrence, Liberty North High School, Liberty High School. So I thought it was really dope to see that.
I do too, just because it's a professional team. Like, why does a professional team need to spend money on NIL? Like, people know who Sporting Kansas City is. Because most of the time when businesses spend money, it's marketing. That's all it is. It's like, all right, Jazz, I'm going to spend money with you while you're in college because I know that people watch you and people are going to, buy whatever I put, my message through you. Yeah. They're going to come to my business because of you. And so I don't think people really need to understand Sporting KC. I mean, soccer is like the #1 sport in the world.
And all the kids are local, so the people here and residents, relate to it.
Yeah, definitely familiar. But even then, I'm sure I could see the impact on like when you have teammates that are coming in from other states, countries even, and then you're able to be like, oh, now let's go to a sporting game. Like I'll take you to a sporting game. Now you've kind of reached outside of your state. So like roommates that are from different states. I can see that type of marketing, I guess, to kind of put the word out that they wouldn't normally come to a sporting game or know about the sporting just through their roommate. They're coming.
I agree.
Did they disclose how much they're paying the kids?
It didn't say. It does say that the Sporting U NIL initiative is designed to provide a platform for Sporting Kansas City to celebrate and interact with homegrown athletes on college campuses across the Midwest region who have excelled in their sports. The Sporting U NIL athletes receive a financial stipend or social media engagement, as well as tickets for Sporting KC home matches and merchandise from Sporting Style. The club's investment in Sporting U NIL program also includes further value for student athletes through assistance with strategic marketing and brand building campaigns, in addition to professional development resources, including mentorship and networking connections. So it says stipend. So I don't know. I mean, what would be a good number? Yeah, I mean, it's a professional soccer team.
$5,000 a month.
A month?
$5K?
A month?
That's low for soccer.
A month?
Yeah.
I'd say a couple hundred, maybe 500 a month or something.
A couple
like
of hundred.
That.
You get a stipend from the school. Like, what was it?
So it's what? How many kids? It's 5 kids. So that'd be $2,500 a week. I mean, a month, right? If $500.
No, I was talking about per kid.
Per kid?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Jazz said 500, so we thinking $2,500 a month per kid.
Yeah.
And we counting pockets right now. Let's get to it.
2006. University of Texas San Antonio was giving out away a stipend of $1,200 for being a full scholarship athlete.
from college, right?
Right, from
Yeah,
college.
yeah.
For your monthly,
Yeah.
So you're saying in 2023, you're talking a couple $100.
But they're not paying, like, when they give you that stipend, it's like, okay, maybe you're paying a rent if you're living off campus. Like, they're expecting, like, you might have some responsibilities, but this is just purely like, we're just going to give you a stipend just for helping us out. So I don't think they have to necessarily reach as high because they're not trying to cover bills or anything that a student may need. Like, the student might be expected to use that on books or whatever else.
So we got to look at the kid though. Like, all right, so you have a University of Kansas running back, probably on a full scholarship.
Probably. Yeah.
You have University of Kansas forward, women's basketball, so she's probably on a full scholarship. University of Missouri midfielder. So playing soccer, soccer and Mizzou get full scholarships?
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So Kansas State University defender Jericho Freegon. So another soccer, Big 12, full scholarship. Okay. So then you have University of Missouri kicker. Do kickers get full scholarships? And
football is tough.
NCAA?
Football is tough because they get scholarships per semester, unlike basketball is a two-semester sport. And there's so many players. And at the running back position, which is a revolving door, you can have one on a full scholarship, one on partial. Yeah. It just depends on the situation, on how good you are.
So any college folks watching or listening, let us know. Do kickers get full scholarships? That's the one person I don't know. In the NCAA team, do they get full scholarships?
It depends on how good you are, who you are, how good you are.
If you're All-American, all conference.
Okay.
Kick ratio.
Yeah. So I mean, that being said, you get a full scholarship deal, so $500 will be enough for you to promote MLS team.
$500? Are you guys not living in today?
I'm asking because I would say I would say you got to come at least. Are we talking monthly? Or are we just talking about just for the
monthly? I mean,
monthly.
This $500. You guys are living back in 2000.
So we talking about 50,000. If we talking a year, we're talking about $60,000.
This is $1 billion corporation. There's some kids out there getting Mercedes-Benz sponsorships, and this is Sporting KC, right?
Yeah.
This is a soccer team that is a multi-billion-dollar. I don't think 500.
So with 5 kids, they're going to spend $300,000 for marketing.
Yeah.
For Midwest, no.
College kids.
No. I could find a way better way to spend $300,000 for marketing.
Supply and demand. I don't know.
For college kids, like. And of all these kids, Devin Neal is the only one I've heard of.
Right.
I'm only going off of what I know. And I'm telling you, scholarship offer, University of Texas, San Antonio, monthly stipend was $1,200 a month. Now, if you're saying that—
You're going off 20 years ago.
Which means the numbers increase.
Not really. Because I think that number that's from a college, though. We're talking just like a business.
Right, which is more profitable and has more revenue than the college.
Okay, so
Sporting KC's revenue, University of Texas, San Antonio's revenue.
So let's break it down from a business side. I'm spending $60,000 per kid per year. If we just say that's minimum, $60,000 per year per kid. We have 20 games at home, right? How much is per family? You're not going to make that much money off of spending $60,000. You've got to sell a lot of tickets for $60,000. That kid has to provide you with what, 100 people? More than that? Plus food and beverage? Come on. Nah, I don't think $60,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think about $500 is probably about right.
I think they can go to a car dealership and get $500 a month. A used car dealership and represent that used. What is it? Pete Franklin or something out here? And get more than $500 a month.
All right. Well, I don't know. $500. Andrew says she agrees with Meta.
Now, Matthew Stafford's wife says he's struggling to connect with younger Rams teammates. Says in her podcast, she had talked about him struggling to connect, and that he mentioned that in the locker rooms are just so much different now. When you come out, they used to be playing games, playing ping pong together, and now everybody's in their phones. What do you guys think?
Sucks to be old.
He's not even old. Like how old is Matthew Stafford?
35.
35?
So now you're going a 20-year-old, 22, 23-year-old.
24.
12. Well, some of the rookies, 23, 12 years.
But that's not a huge age difference. No, it's not. Like no, because
you
24.
She's 24. So we got her by like 14 years.
Yeah, it's same.
No, it's not.
It is.
No.
I don't feel disconnected from Jazz. Maybe you do.
That's in your mind. You don't feel disconnected.
Maybe you do, but I don't. Like, to me, of course, there's age, right? Like, I get it, but you're on the same team. You're on you all have the same goal, right? Like, I understand you're trying to connect, figure it out. And so look, Travis Kelce is 30 years old, right? Yeah, Travis Kelce's 30 years old, 31. And then the youngest person on their team, probably Sky Moore, Isaiah Pacheco, 22, 23. That's still an age difference, but he still can connect with those players because of why? Because of personality, because you can throw an old word out there, swag. I don't know. Maybe Matthew Stafford just doesn't have it.
He's just lame.
Yeah, he ain't got it. Like, Mike, you can connect with a 20-year-old. I can connect with my 12-year-old son.
Right. On certain levels. But just think about this. When we were in college, text messaging wasn't even really that relevant.
It wasn't relevant at all, really.
Thank you, really. I mean, I'll
when
never
I went to
forget.
school, I didn't have service.
I'll never forget. He was like, man, they keep on doing this text and stuff, and it's costing me 40 cents a text. Jazz, that's
I will
probably
say
all.
I can't relate. I'm not even gonna speak on like that was.
She only knows unlimited plans.
Mr. Unlimited.
But I don't feel like the dynamic has changed that much. Like, I can kind of understand, like you says, like playing games and people come out on their phones. But even like when you see TikTok and stuff like that, the guys are still dancing. They're still interacting with each other, kicking it.
Exactly.
Like, if you want to isolate yourself or not be over there engaging, that's a whole other thing. But I wouldn't say that the guys aren't kicking it in the locker room anymore. That's always like a core memory for athletes, is being in the locker room with your teammates, hanging out. Like,
maybe guys just don't think you're cool. Maybe don't think you're cool enough to like associate themselves with you. And there'd be no way that Patrick Mahomes couldn't, associate with himself or connect with guys on his team. Like, I don't think at any age. You think Tom Brady wasn't being able to connect with any guys on his team? I'm just throwing a guy out there.
Well, there was reports that people came in and was like, Mr. Tom Brady, but he had a humbleness about himself. Like, came in, he was like, "Hi, my name is Tom Brady."
Yeah.
You know who Tom Brady is. Yeah. Like, he approached it differently. But age-wise, man, you talking 35 to 20, 23.
That's not a big difference.
I feel like we could still talk and have a conversation.
We can still talk, but we don't have the same, like, our life is different. Like, Matthew Stafford is on his second, third contract. He's $100 million man. He's thinking about, retiring.
That's the problem. That's his problem.
Right.
Like, that's why he's not able. It's not the players. It's not because they're in their phones.
But the conversations are different. The conversations are different to where the rookie is just now seeing all this money and coming into the culture of the NFL. He's trying to begin, and Matthew Stafford is ending. And so the whole, just what they're talking about and different lives or whatever, like where we're going to go eat.
Well, then that's mentorship. You change your relationship. Instead of trying to be friends, then you're mentoring, and you're still connecting in a different form.
And here's the other thing on top of that. Do you think Deion Sanders is not able to connect with his players at Colorado? How old is Deion? 50.
But
we're talking about 18, 19-year-olds. He's connecting. He's playing music. He comes in. They playing that whatever, Little Baby. They playing everything.
You're talking about one guy compared to.
But to me, that's your effort to connect with somebody. Like, you can't sit here and be like, oh, the culture's changed. It's different. You're just not evolving with it. You're not evolving and making that effort to connect. Like, it sounds corny, but yeah, maybe he needs to start listening to 103.3 or something where it's like, okay, now I like know what the new songs are, the hip songs are. Start getting on TikTok and knowing a little bit of what the dances
Kids keep
are.
you young.
Yeah, like, that's on him. I don't think that's to blame his teammates of like, oh, you just sit on your phones. Like, if you don't make an effort, you're old. I'm not gonna go out my way.
Another prime example. Different sport. LeBron James, right? You think he's not able to connect with?
But the majority of the players that he plays with, they're of the same culture, same world. They came from the same place. You're talking about Matthew Stafford, who probably went to a different high school than an Aaron Donald or Van Jefferson, right?
Yeah, of course.
So like the cultural difference, like.
But that's the effort.
Figured, but most of the time, QBs they're able to associate with the linemen. They're able to associate with the DBs. They're the main
driver.
Yeah. So you got to be able to.
First off, if if somebody is keeping another big man from hitting me and knocking me out, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure they're.
But the defense too. The defense too. You're able to. It's the culture. That's it. It's his culture. He needs to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the world has changed. We're not just. You
think this was a little plot to get traded?
Nah, I don't think so.
But yeah, I think at the end of the day, like if he is just sitting over there and thinks everybody on their phones is on their phones, you can't tell me if he didn't pick up one of the basketballs, the guys wouldn't swamp and start messing with him, talking with him, whatever. Yeah. So I don't think it's necessarily to blame on the phones and on his teammates.
Look,
figure it out.
People are food. That's how people like.
Break bread.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Candy. Bring out a new candy. Like people just what's a combo starter? Literally think of the simplest conversation.
Yeah. Win your friendship with Starburst.
There you go. NFL, NBA, and UFC seek tougher governmental action against illegal streaming. They say they're losing up to $28 billion in potential revenue per year. Steve, your thoughts on this one?
For those of you who are out there who do illegal streaming,
give me the site.
You got that one thing about it is like sometimes I think you got to pay for everything. Like if you buying YouTube, let's just go there. If you're buying YouTube TV,
$100,
$70 a month plus. I mean, if you got all the channels, upwards of $100. And then you come with Showtime, and then you got like pay-per-view if you want to watch boxing matches and all that. That's another $70 added to your bill. So you're looking at a $250 cable bill. We try to cut the cord. That's the reason we're streaming, right? Like it is what it is. So they should be happy that people want to watch their product.
But if you can't get revenue from it, I don't want you watching like that. If I can't get paid from that,
fair enough.
I can't do it.
Fair enough. Now we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss Milwaukee bar to pay fans bar tabs every time Aaron Rodgers loses in his NFL season. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at KCWeSpin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com. Purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag Talk About It, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Now, Notre Dame QB Sam Hartman wears necklace made of surgically removed rib. Let's check it out first. There it is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That is something that's really weird. How does he get a rib on I just get a rib on there.
Well, he underwent surgery ahead of his 2022 season to address a blood clot. Doctors removed one of his ribs, and as part of the procedure in December, he first revealed his plan to memorialize the medical ordeal, and then he froze the rib bone in hopes of featuring it in a necklace.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Don't walk around too many hungry dogs.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
But if that's a memorable period of your life, like injuries, transition, I mean, I don't think anybody would do that. Of course, like ACLs, everybody, that's a common injury. Are you going to like save a piece of your ACL? Probably not. Yeah. But like, if that's a huge thing and you had a whole rib removed, I mean.
Give me a rib necklace. Give me
a necklace.
Walk around with an old rib necklace. we got a familiar face that is here with us. And I know he's looking like, what are y'all talking about?
I don't know if I want to join in.
Uncle Sean Tyler, what's happening?
What's up, nephew?
How you doing?
I was good until the whole rib bone thing. But when you have surgery and you have something removed from your body, it is yours. You can ask for it if you want it. People keep gallstones. They keep everything.
Hold on. What? Wait. So if I get my knee replaced, you gonna give me a piece of my knee?
If you want it.
Make a necklace.
I mean, they keep placenta. They keep everything. I mean, if you want it, you can ask for it.
No. That's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, but to wear it around,
that's a bit much.
That's some first world problem stuff there. I'm all right.
Jeffrey Dahmer vibes? Or is that what it's giving? I don't know.
It's like, dude, get a Gates rib bone. You don't need your own. I mean, you just really need a rib bone. Get some sauce on it.
I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, no.
It obviously means a lot to him, though. In that period of his life, I would like to sit down with him and hear about, like, maybe there was a life-changing realization.
See, he had a sister and she's missing.
No.
This is not the first time he's carried body parts around, I'm sure. Something's up here.
Maybe he's waiting till he finds the love of his life and he's like, here, Adam gave Eve his rib. I'm going to give you my rib. Here.
I remember R. Kelly gave us hits and lyrics of his songs for years, and then we found out. So this could be the first step in
red flag.
10 years from now, like, oh, he did tell us.
Red flag. So we're not seeing a carnival. This is red flag.
He did tell us.
Now, Milwaukee bar to pay fans bar tabs every time Aaron Rodgers loses this NFL season. What are your thoughts on this one?
Won't be any bar tabs paid October 1st.
You know what? This is kind of weird, but I think there's other businesses that have done this. I think what would Mattress Mac when the Houston Astros, if they won the World Series, if you come in buy a mattress, and it ended up like he ended up having to pay out a lot.
Yeah,
because they ended up winning the World Series, so it's a risk that you take.
But I think he won a lot though. He had gambled that though and won.
Did he
he's won more times than he's lost.
He
put down a lot of money.
Still a lot of free mattresses,
and just he's not coming out of pocket. No.
Mm-hmm.
There are insurance companies that do that kind of stuff. So when like radio stations say we're giving away $10 million, if and they have a contest, they pay an insurance company. And then if somebody actually wins, then they'll actually win. But the station doesn't pay the $10 million. They've already paid the insurance company. But the odds are really great that they won't win the $10 million. So the radio station will probably only be out of whatever
come up
the
with
$10,000 are.
They come up with us
they
contest.
Have plenty of rules. They have plenty of rules in place.
Win Steve Wall's rib.
What's the rules?
The Rodgers must be starting. A new tab must be started at least 15 minutes before the game.
Oh, man, I'm there.
Fan must be present for the entire game. Deal does not include food or top shelf liquor and is not valid if the Jets are playing the same time as the Packers.
So I have a question. If I'm there and already going through all the stipulations of the rules and it's 40-3, can I just start ordering the bar rounds and shots? And my thing is, if I'm drinking top shelf, why can't I get top shelf?
Right.
Don't give me swill after I've been drinking the good stuff all day.
I mean, you got to make it to the end of the game. So if you're drinking top shelf that entire time.
Oh, this is a game I can play.
Bet. That challenge accepted.
They make you stay there for the whole game. Like,
and then if it's a crappy game, you're going to really be back because you're going to want to leave.
I got to sit here and watch this.
Well, then you got to drink more to make it through.
You might have to drink a lot to get through an Aaron Rodgers game at this point.
Facts. Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, more NBA stars criticize U.S. sprinter Noah Lyles over world champion comment. Let's hear the comments from Noah first.
World champion of what? The United States? You know, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA finals and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times. But that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
Oof. Shots fired.
Yeah, that's crazy. I get what he's saying. I see what he's trying to do. But when you think about like the world, the NBA is not playing against Switzerland. You don't see the Lakers going up against China. You don't see the Bulls going up against Spain or anybody like that. So when you say the world, is kind of a toss up. I don't know, but
it's definitely subjective. But my thing is the shade that he threw at the U.S., which everybody just absolutely looked over because he said, "I love the U.S. at times." Like what?
Definitely, and I mean, I get that I don't know if that he's necessarily like downplaying the talent, but I think you're word playing too much. Like at this point, like we know that the U.S. has some of the best athletes in the world. So for us to throw that comment is not like, I don't think that's disrespectful. Like, how much have we truly been challenged lately? And if, like you said, if the Lakers went over and played these teams, maybe a blowout. So
now the U.S. men's basketball team can make that claim, best in the world.
Right.
NBA teams, probably not. Some of them maybe, but then you have to realize some of these NBA teams rely on the talent of international players.
True.
Yeah.
Like some of their star players are from different parts of the world, so it's not American players. So I mean, I kind of see what he's saying, but that's the same thing. Like, you know, Chiefs are world champs. They haven't played any international football teams.
Very true. Yeah.
True. Would the true on the other side though, would they feel disrespected? Those players that are coming from different countries here, is that like, what is their take or their standpoint? Because do they come over here thinking, okay, this is premium talent compared to my country, so this is a world champion moment for me?
And I think that's the argument that a lot of the NBA players are saying is like, all right, we're the creme de la creme, right? Like people come from other countries to play here because we're the best in the world,
right?
At basketball. So that's their argument. It's like, yeah, we're the best, so we're going to call ourselves the best in the world, and our championship is the best in the world.
So 75% of the players that I see, and these are our opinion statistics, by the way, they come over here to play. Don't come over here to play because they want to play to be the best in the world, to compete at the best of the world level. A lot of them come over here to make a difference for their families.
Right.
That's the only reason they come over here, because they can't make that kind of money over there where they are.
True.
And they come over here and make the money, and a lot of them send that money back. And especially a lot of the African players, they putting fresh water in villages and building schools and doing things of that nature. So I don't know if it's so much competitive aspect for some of these international players coming over here more so than it is a life-saving measure.
True.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you got a lot of international players. Like you look at the top players in the league right now are all from other countries. I mean, you think about Giannis. You talk about Dirk. There's a lot of guys.
I didn't know Anthony Towns was it Dominican?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know. Yeah.
So a lot of those players who kids look up to are international. And I can't remember what the stat was. It's like 30% or something close to that of international players in the NBA.
Is Kobe international?
No, he's American.
Didn't he play international one time?
He was. He lived in Italy.
With his dad. Okay. His dad. Yeah. That's why he learned soccer. Shout out to Kobe Bryant.
I knew you were going to go there. I've been waiting to talk about this one all week. Incredible world record set for highest attendance at a women's sporting event. The University of Nebraska props for the largest crowd to witness a women's sports event that took place in the football stadium. You guys' thoughts on this one? Meta, your thoughts on this one?
I didn't see too much of this, but the other Nebraska story I heard about was the swimmer who had an argument with Keith Olbermann, talking about the transgender thing. That's the only thing I know about Nebraska. But for the women to get, world records, let's just keep that going. Let's start to let's start to support the women in the sports because that's what makes the revenue. Like women want to be paid equally. Well, the fans have to go watch the games.
Definitely.
You can't argue that point that, hey, they should be paid equally, but then change the channel or not, go to an event or whatever. You have to actually, do what you're going to, do what you say and help and support. But this is cool.
Definitely. And I think just as much as we push the fans, I think it's action too, because one of the things for me that was so wholesome and I like to see on social media was people saying, if you build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
And I think this was a moment where, like how much have we seen, especially in a D1 program, a women's sports being played in a football stadium? Like I've never seen that in my history, especially like at that stage. And for them to even like open up that stadium, for them to host that game, if you build it, they'll come. And so I think that's the first part of it, is like giving those opportunities in those big stages. Shout out Casey Current, that's gonna have one right here.
Yeah.
But that's dope, and especially in college sports, because we know college sports is definitely a shining moment.
And shout out to women, because they've been kicking butt and stuff for centuries, but now because of social media, more attention is being paid because people can be at an event where some woman is killing it and they're posting it or going live, and someone's actually exposed to it when they weren't before. So.
Right.
Definitely.
And no shade to Nebraska, but like I didn't know Nebraska had 90,000 people that live there. Like where all these people come from?
Do you know how much money is in Nebraska?
Oh yes.
I mean, I do. I know now.
Do you know why there's so much money in Nebraska?
Because of like
Warren Buffett. Like they have stuff in Nebraska that we don't have.
Yeah,
like they have a Fleming Steakhouse. It's one of the best steakhouses in the world in Omaha, Nebraska. Why? But Omaha's come a long way.
Yeah.
Okay. And shout out to the University of Nebraska because they hired Tech9 to do a special Red Kingdom version for the University of Nebraska, which they played before that match. And it was stadium lights up in red. It's a whole big thing.
Oh, wow.
Love that.
And the tickets were $400 a pop.
What?
Yep.
Are they sharing that with the women?
No.
Yeah.
$400 a ticket.
One baby steps, one step at a time. One step at a time.
$400 a ticket.
It's not too much going on in Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma. I think they're the same.
I was going to say tomato.
Yeah, but I think Nebraska's a good state to start in because it's not too much to do. I would say the World Series of baseball is there. Though.
You can husk corn.
Yeah. You cannot hit the cows there.
Yeah.
But and another thing too is the fact that Nebraska football has been missing. They haven't been on the back of a milk carton for the past 30 years, right? Like,
and they had a stronghold for such a long time, and then just
Tommy
they
Frazier,
did. Gone.
Yeah, man, that was a good day.
So I mean, volleyball.
Love to see it.
Yep.
Love to see it. I'm trying to catch the next one at a big stadium.
$400 a ticket.
Go to Nebraska by yourself.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our Hate It or Love It segment. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com. Purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it. Message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. We like to argue with Meta up here and his controversial topics. So holler at us. We can talk about it. Let's get to our sneakers of the week.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off our sneakers of the week, we have the Air Jordan 5 Burgundies. I like them.
I like these. These are pretty dope. I mean, you can't go wrong with a burgundy shoe. Like, I was on a tangent for a while there, just buying like burgundy color shoes for whatever reason. I don't know. And I think these are pretty dope. I wish I had these. That's a new buck.
Let's be honest. You bought them because of the gray on the burgundy, because you can put that with a suit easier. So it wasn't the burgundy, it was the gray.
Yeah, most definitely.
So if anybody got any questions about my nephew, I can answer them. I know him like the back of my head.
I'm not wearing them. I mean, I don't want to look like I got a big grape on my foot, man. I wear.
Oh my god! Because you wear a 15. You wear a 15. See, this dude wears a 15. He's
13.
been saying he wears a 13.
It's a 13.
He's been wearing a 15 since he was in 8th grade.
I was gonna say, you've been skiing for how long?
Man, a while, man. The prices need to go down, and they need to make more productions of them. It's hard to find a 13 out here.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of cows have to die for some new buck shoes for a size 15.
Shoot them all, steaks and kicks.
Wow!
All right, this first question is from Peter.
Now the Serena Williams design crew Nike Air Max 1s.
I like these.
Those are
I
different.
like these. And remember, Serena Williams, she had with Nike and Serena, they came up with this design crew. It was like 10 or 15 women that designs shoes for Serena and Nike. So these are part of that, the style that they have designed.
So now these are my favorites this week.
That's too much soul. That looks like those Skechers rockers for your calves.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to unsee it now. I can't unsee it.
I mean, call me a liar, but I'm like, okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Those are for your grandma. Those are
wow, and they're orange.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So she gonna
You
lose
can't miss her.
when she goes mall walking. Just look down. Oh, there's me, ma.
My favorites this week: the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Atmosphere Grays.
I like these. These are they're fire. I like them.
I'm digging them.
Yep.
I like the old school kind of vibe they give off.
Yeah, they're fire.
And then last but not least, the Nike Sabrina Dunk.
Sabrina Sparks.
Sorry.
Yeah, fire. These are. You remember so Sabrina Ionescu. She had her shoes were stolen because Nike had just released her I guess her signature shoe.
Mhm.
So they were stolen from a WNBA arena.
Wow.
Inside of so we're still on the lookout for Sabrina's shoes.
in Vegas.
In Vegas.
At all places.
Pawn shop.
Man.
They're gonna be on Pawn Stars next week.
Speaking of her signature shoe, you know, they just released one and she's got the first ever unisex shoe
Really?
that they've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
So I can get a size.
They
And
make
that's
those
cool.
in
You
15?
absolutely can. And they're actually a pretty decent shoe.
They're
I
not the
saw it on
market, they're not
CBS this morning. They all had them on. Nate Burleson had on a pair. They all had on.
Really?
Yeah.
Check them out.
Interesting.
Check them out. Team shoes, because they can just go for everybody.
Right.
Dang.
Wow. There's that.
Chaz, I don't know if I want to have the same shoes as you. I'm sorry.
Dang. Okay. Anyways, hate it. Oakland mayor could demand A's renounce team name per report. Hate it or love it.
I love it. I mean, if you're not gonna stay here with me, why are you taking my name? They've been the Oakland A's forever.
It's not his
You're not
name.
going to be Las Vegas A's.
Ike
I'm sorry.
Turner?
It's not his name. It's not his name.
So it's my city.
No, it's the city.
I'm the mayor. It's my city.
Was he the mayor when the team got there?
Absolutely not. See, that's what you put that Ike Turner. The name stays with me. The names that no. That's like the Sacramento Kings. I mean,
From Kansas City, right?
you're not here. Go on, take it. I mean, what are we gonna do? Just hold on to the name in case we get a.
I mean, why not?
So how long we been waiting for a basketball team to come?
A long time. A long time.
It's never gonna
Long
happen.
time.
We have
Yeah.
a women's soccer team, no offense, and not a basketball team. This whole
Well, the
arena-
city sold its soul, which is why we won't have a basketball team. So, thanks,
Yeah.
Sly James. No, it wasn't Sly. It was the female mayor before him.
Barnes.
Barnes.
K.
K.
Barnes.
Barnes. Yeah.
Thanks, Kay.
Yup, send your hate emails to kbarnes at k. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't like all this girl hate, so we're gonna move on to Bucks Ryan Jensen had stem cell treatments from umbilical cords of babies. Hated of it. A lot of Jeffrey Dahmer vibes.
Right.
Is this the same dude with the rib bone?
Yeah.
Different guy.
His dad? His uncle?
Different guy.
Hate it or love it.
I don't know.
It's another one of those things. It's like, why are you trying? You brought up a good point in our meeting earlier this week. How much does this cost?
Yeah.
Because for stem cell research, it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
So to have stem cells of umbilical cords of babies, like, who are you? What mama is going to give up their kid's umbilical cord for this?
I mean, they're not doing anything with it once the baby's here.
Yeah, you didn't even want to keep the rib bone.
Right.
Where's Peyton's umbilical cord at?
I hope it ain't with his knee.
I need it for my meniscus.
Right. If you got the means and you've got the umbilical cord at your disposal, I mean, go for it.
What hospital is saving these umbilical cords?
Truman.
Ultimate shade right there. Right.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah. I'm just like, man, you can't take these umbilical cords and put them in somebody's knee. Like,
and his knee goes out tomorrow, and here we go.
Right. But what
don't say that.
What do you I mean, they're just not doing anything. So again, they're not using the umbilical cords for anything else once the babies are here.
It just seems so wrong.
It would be wrong if they were taking the babies and genetically altering one of their limbs and replacing yours so it'll grow.
Put a bunch of babies' knees to build one knee.
Right. So this baby walking around with this 27-year-old knee.
Dang.
All money aside, what about time though? Like, if I'm an athlete where he's at, like, I want to go straight to the top surgeon, whatever top like surgery. This sounds like test, like this is like hamster test, you know? Like, does he even know that this is actually gonna like be the solid what he needs and he's gonna come back as he should? I'm just gonna go with the typical surgery of whatever you normally do. I'm not gonna try the whole stem cell situation. I'm just gonna play the safe card.
Research on stem cells have been going on for decades. And I'm sure there's information out there with some doctors who know that this works. The FDA just probably want to prove it, just like, and it's like cancer drugs. They're not trying to cure cancer. They're just trying to treat you so they can continue to make money off of it. So until they can figure out a way where it can be a monetary powerhouse for some medical company, you know, there's probably some information out there that you can get. Again, if you have the means and you can get inside that circle,
listen,
you'll benefit.
Anything that can get me doing the East Bay dunk again. I don't care if it takes 50 babies. VA Health Department, hey, look this up. Mike's one. I met him want to dunk again.
Thought you were retired.
I am.
We were just talking about the.
If I can get an NIL deal, I'll come out of retirement with a stem cell baby knee.
But you won't play dodgeball.
No, man. I seen dude get hit in the face. Nah, I'm good.
We have stem cells for that. So you'll be okay.
I'll be all right.
I don't know if you want baby stem cells in your face.
I don't. Right here on the knee.
Former NFL wide receiver Deshaun Jackson announces pros versus bros event. Hate it or love it.
Deshaun just looking for something to do. I'm just convinced he's just looking for something to do.
You wouldn't compete in the pros?
No,
but you'll do the dodgeball.
Not in Compton, California, to where if he lose to you, you ain't coming back to Kansas City. No, you're not. You know where he's from?
I know
That's where he's doing it.
Yeah,
in his backyard.
Compton's cool though, man.
Yeah, okay.
Certain parts of Compton.
Yeah, certain parts of Compton. Yeah,
there's a reason why Rodeo Drive stops and then start calling Rodeo.
Well, he said he can't wait to humble y'all boys. So. And looks like he's not looking for it anyways.
Yeah.
Somebody needs attention.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. I'm not competing.
Shout out to my niece, Lauren. Happy 7th birthday today. Any more.
Virgo, happy birthday.
Virgo. It's Virgo time.
Woo-hoo, that's right. 10 days away.
Yeah. What you going to do for your birthday?
Absolutely nothing. It's on a Tuesday.
Okay. The day after
Tuesday.
The day after our show, the Red Hour show is going to be at a new location.
Oh, that's right. Are we making that announcement right now?
We can. I mean, yeah, why not?
All right. So season 5 of the Red Hour will be now broadcasting live from Chicken and Pickle in North Kansas City. And we also have a sponsor, and we'll make that announcement later on this week as well. So we're looking forward to a great season These Chiefs, anything's possible at this point with these guys. I'm looking forward to a great year. The only game that I'm worried about, oddly enough,
What's that?
is game one.
Game one.
It's the upset game.
Did you make your bet yet?
No, I'm making it tomorrow.
Making it tomorrow. I'm making some today.
Your bet's not as strong as mine.
Hey, we can talk. I'm trying to.
You want to do it on the air or off the air?
It don't matter. What we doing?
So I told Steven and a couple other people that I am going to place a $100 bet that the Chiefs go undefeated this season.
Yeah, you lost that, bro.
Now listen to me. Here's my reasoning. Patrick Mahomes is very competitive. And since he has been showing star prowess, there's one name that hangs over his head. Tom Brady. He's already smashed so many of those records, but there's no guarantee that Patrick Mahomes will play for 20 seasons. There's no guarantee that he'll win 7 Super Bowls. But there's one thing that Tom Brady never did that Patrick Mahomes can do that they can't hold over his head with Tom Brady's name, and that is break the 51-year-old undefeated NFL season record. And he is absolutely the quarterback who can do it. And here's my other argument. Everybody's like, our defense is sketchy. The first Super Bowl that we went to,
Hey, was sketchy.
and we won, we had a very sketchy defense. We won. Second Super Bowl we go to, we had a much better defense. We lost. Third Super Bowl we went to, we had just an okay defense with sparks of excitement every now and then.
He's trying to keep the thing going sketchy. So you got a sketchy defense.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we won that Super Bowl. So whether Chris Jones makes his way back in or not, and our defense doesn't get to where they want it to be, and we play with a sketchy defense, we have so much power on the offense that the other team most definitely would have to keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs in order to win the game. And we saw last year that Patrick Mahomes only needed 3 points to get past where he needed to get to, and that's what he did most of the season, which is why I'm saying this $100 bet, if I lose,
what's the payout?
It's just $100. If I win, it's $500,000.
See, I got better. We picked the division winners. I think if we put down $30, that's $234,000.
Went for $234 million.
$500,000.
So that's for $30. So if we put down $100,
oh yeah,
yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
we're gonna keep up with this conversation offline. But we appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Thank you, Uncle Sean, for hanging out with us today.
glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Meta, as always, for joining us. For Jazz and I, Meta, we'll all be back.
Yeah, we can go on a hump of some size 15 sketches.
Right. Until next week, we are out of here.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-hosts, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.